Okay, let's go. Vayehi acharei hamagefa. It's the Chitas of Sunday, Monday. Vayim Hashem al Moshe vel Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen Leimer. Su esroish kol adas b'nei Yisrael ben esim shana v'mayla laveis avoisim kol yoytzei tzava b'Yisrael. So we're very busy in the Aliyah of Sheni. Today's Chitas counting all the Yidden. The Torah goes through pretty quickly. Before we're talking about 30 psukim with Rashi. That's basically today's chitas. They counted the Bnei Yisrael. Okay. Sagt Rashi, Vahi achrei hamagefa Moshe leroya shenichnusu zeivim letoich etrei v'horgu behem. A pack of wolves jumped into the Eder and they killed the sheep. And now he's counting late the minyan and Isores. Dover achet second pshat kshotzim Mitzrayim nimser l'Moshe nimser l'beminyan. Moshe Rabbeinu took when they took the Yidden out of Mitzrayim, they gave them with a number. Achshav shekar v'lamos so la'achzeh tzoyne machzirim beminyan. Let's learn the Sif Secham and Maskela David, which are the two main meforshim on Rashi. Sif Secham says Moshe leroya dover achet. The koshelei ha'ech tolui aminyan b'magev. What's bothering Rashi? Sifcham always wants to know what's bothering Rashi. Rashi doesn't stop say shotem lach. So what's bothering Rashi is why does the poet have to say vayhi achrei hamagefa? The Rebbe adds to it. Even though we say mukta mukha Torah, that's if you have a reason to say. But otherwise, the Torah goes in the regular order. So you know it was a magefa. The end of last week's parsha was a big magefa, right? So why do we have to say Arba ve'eser Molef? Yeah, 24,000. So why do we have to say Vahi achrei magefa? So Rashi gives an answer that the word magefa is not to tell you when it was. It tell you why. Why did Abish say to count the Yid? Kosha lefi adover acher shehevi Rashi ha'ech yitudet kushis Rashi. According to the second pshat in Rashi, that when Moshe Rabbeinu got the Yidden and gives back the Yidden to the Eibishter, you have to count on what's shaychus in the Magefim. Yesh loimer, according to the second shot in the Rashi, we could say like this: it says earlier in the pasuk, Parshas Matos, Nekoim Nikmas Bnei Yisrael Meisa Midyonim Achat Yosef Elamech Shema Menod B'Machemes Midyon Toelemises Moshe. So we see that Mechemes Midyan has a shaykhis to Mrs. Moshe, Lakach Tzomach Minyan Yisrael, Mechemes Midyan. That's another pshat that he gives. Why does he need Bachal a second time? What's wrong with the first time? He should have just counted the mason. Why didn't he count just the mason? Why didn't he count just the mason? So the Chach Pirish Davarach, they forget a second shot. The Davarach going to the second shot. Kosher, say. Again, Adain Logias man Mrs. Moshe. The Chach Pirish Gam Tam Rishi. Very similar to the Rebbe style. Since Rashi gave two pshotim, we have to know what tzrichas in both pshotim. But it's a little schwer. He should have counted the mason. That's very funny. We never had. Always we say Meterchi Boss and Moina. Yeah, you count the Chaim, you don't count the mason. It's a very funny thing. Maskelu David writes, "Vahi achrei hamagefa." Moshel v'chulu davaracher v'chulu. Utzerach Rabbeinu lo davaracher. Why did the Rashi need a second pshat? Ilu lapirish kama kosher. According to the first pshat, it's shver. Dinkein amai ike psoke beemtza. Why is the pasuk start with the middle of a story? It's like the pasuk starts. It's a very funny thing. Yeah, it sounds like it's the middle of a pasuk. Why does it start by hi achrei hamagefa? Wait, have a acher magefa the acher samach acher muflik. Kimishaminya machmas magefa take him miad acher have a lemnois bakach meinse the verache. But le Pirish Rishon Aleph kosher dim ken lo litabei I'm sorry Lashon Hasheni whatever le doverach sorry kosher dim ken lo litabei v'magefa klal. That says it. So this is very schwach. I don't know if this is a shayla zok Rebbe, but he starting in the middle of an inyan, whatever. That's where the pasuk starts. Okay, let's go now. We learn the Medrash Rabbah, which is l'chayre the market from Rashi and Chuma, and another two Rashis in Chumash where Rashi says very, 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 very similar. The Medrash Rabbah says Vayachar Vagefer. So, kol makim shenoiflim huskaku leminyan. Moshel is eiv shenichmus letoich atzoin. Hured balatzoin lemnoisa mechos.
Why you say Moshe Lezev and here you say Moshe Levoy?
Oh.
God, it's gone up today.
Yeah. Dover acher lama monu oizen. Moshel roish mosloi balatzoin. Galabai soine beminyan. Ishlom roish mirose. Shmachzin tzerich lemnoisa. Just it's wrong with some Rosh Hashanah. I mean, see, why that Hashem Moshe mit Barsine. Susresh Kaladas Bnei Yisrael. Yisrael Bnei Yisrael Ramzu Sokoysu Keish Meis Elef Ragli. Harei Kiblam B'Mitzrayim B'Minyan. Boli Potem in Oil Bar B'Smoyim. Chzirim B'Min. Okay. Rashi says in the beginning of a Midbar, Rashi says like this. Leidaber B'Midbar Sina Bechel Achitch. Mitoich Kibotzam Lafana Moina Oisam Kol Shah. Because the Eibishter loves the Yidden, he counts them all the time. Shiotzim and Mitzrayim, monon. When he went on the Mitzrayim, he counts them. Shenofel be'eyel, monon, leida midden and esonim. Because he wants, every time he counts them. Why? Because he loves them. Shabola hashish shchenose alei, monon. Be'echad be'nissen hukam mishkan, therefore, be'echad be'ir monon. Okay, bottom line, Rashi says every time the Eibishter counts Yidden is because he loves them. He loves them. Yotzim Mitzrayim, Shnafel Be'egel, Shabbat HaShechina. Every time there's something special, he counts them to show that he loves them. Right? It says in Shmoneh, you should say the words, Kemoina Mo'oz, as if you're counting hundreds. You're counting hundreds. Okay. Rashi says in Kisisa, Benasato Etzel Avoid Esel Avoid, Lamadat Sheshen Etztavel Noisen, Tzchitz Nedvesamishka, Acher Ma'is Egel. Because there was a Magefa, so therefore the Eibishter wants to count. That there is a tzoin which is chaviva al bala, and there was a deve. When the deve stopped, why does he do that? Lohidia to show she chaviva alov that the tzoyin are chavivte. Okay. The Rebbe says, kama v'kama kashas. First of all, if what's bothering Rashi by hi achrei magefa, and the answer is that because the yidna chavivte eibishte moina kosher, Rashi said it so many times. The child knows it already by now. And if Rashi wanted to say, it could say the kids lay them in and saw them. And what do we need a mashal? What do we need a mashal? And B'chlal, there's a lot of things that are different. Rashi is different than the Medrash. And the Rashi here is different than the other Rashis. The Medrash says that who is counting? The Balatzoin is counting. Here Rashi says the Roya is counting. There's a big difference. The Balatzoin is the Eibishter. The Roya is Moshe Rabbeinu. Emes Taka, the Moshe Rabbeinu does nothing on his own. But the point is, the Eibishter told him to count because he wants. It's for the Eibishter, it's for Moshe. So the Medrash says it's for the Eibishter. Rashi says it's for Moshe. Taka in the Rashi Midbar and Kisisa, he says Taka that the Balatzoin wants to count. So why is it different? Why Rashi over here he says the Balatzoin, over there he says the Roya? And why is it by Rashi and Kisisa he says that there was a Dever. Over here he says it was Zavim that came in. Why? And why is it that over here Rashi says that he counts them loidia chibasa, and over here he doesn't say loidia chibasa? So there's a lot of differences. And the oil kolon is, what do we need a mashal for? What's so complicated that we need a mashal? And if we really need a mashal, why is it here Rashi says that the balatzoin wants to count? Here the roya wants to count. Here is a David. Here it's Zavim. Here it's loidia chibasan. Here is not loidia chibasan. Three differences that are obvious. And why is it so different? The Rebbe says the view is simple. And then the Parshas Balak, we said that even when it's modem labal ta'or, two things happened. There was a Magefa. How many people died in the Magefa? Arba v'esrim olev. Then there was Shofti Yisrael that Moshe Rabbeinu said, Hirgu ish anosha. That whoever was guilty got killed. How many people got killed? 14,000. No, Rashi says how much. Rashi says, Kol echad medayoni Yisrael oher shnayim. Ve'yadayoni Yisrael shemoyna ribu v'shmoyna salafim. That's 88,000 dayonim. If 88,000 dayonim are killing two apiece, how many people got killed?
88 times.
88 times 2 is how much? Say 90. Round it up at 90. 90 and 90 is how much? 180,000. Whoa. That's a big number. 180,000, according to Rashi. Others shot the Ramban, others Rishonim argue this and that. 180,000? That's a lot.
There's another shot is more than that.
It's unbelievable. It's a lot of people. So why is the pasuk that we're counting to know minyan and nasarim? How about the other thing that they got killed by the Dayana Yisrael? Why is the Torah saying that the counting was only because of the Magefa? Why not that they counting b'chol? Because there was a lot of Yidden that died. Altogether, close to around about 200,000 Jews died. Here is around about 180, and the other is 24,000. Sach HaKoil, 200,000.
Wow.
So why does it say that the counting is because of the Magefa? More people died because of the Dayana Yisrael than the Magefa. Rashi wants to answer the kasha. That's what Rashi is answering. Allah Moshe. It's so brilliant the way that Rebbe puts it out. There's two people. There's the Balatzoin and the Zeroya. It's a very different thing. The Balatzoin, he wants to count because he wants to show that he loves, that's very precious to him. He counts something that's precious to you, you count. You have money in the bank, you count it. You have debt, you don't count it. You close your eyes. So,
They count
they count it.
They are the way.
The American Express, they count it. But when you have debt, let them count it. When you have money, you count it. So there is the Balatzoin. If he was Nechse some time, so why they were Nechse? This reason, that reason. He's the Balabayas. He wants to count because it's Choviv to him to count it. In the Roya, it's not his sign on the one hand. On the other hand, what's the job of a Roya? To protect its sign. What happens if he didn't protect its sign? He feels bad. He's guilty. So therefore he counts. Didn't do the job. So it's a big difference to the Bala sign. If they died because of a dever or a even, makes no difference. But to the Bala sign, the owner of the sign, but to the Roya, to the Roya, there's a big difference. The dever, he couldn't do nothing about it. But Zavim, that's his job. He should take sticks. That's what he gets paid. He should take sticks. He should hire other guards. He should build a wall. He should do all of the above. He should build a wall, have sticks and barbed wire, and have other people with him. Whatever he should do, what he has to do. And the Rebbe says, unbelievable pshat. Unbelievable pshat. By the Egel, Moshe Rabbeinu did nothing wrong. Moshe Rabbeinu was in the mountain. He has nothing. It's not his fault. What happened in the eagle is not his fault. There's nothing to do. So Mashenkin here, Rashi says befedish it was his fault. Even though Rashi says really it wasn't his fault, but it looked like it was his fault. What happened? The Eden came to Moshe Rabbeinu and they said, "This woman is allowed to be with the Nasi of Shimon? Yes or no?" He said, "No." No, they said no. So Bas Yisro mi hitirlo. Even though L'chayre was a stupid question, because it's very dumb. What do you mean? She married the Tzipora married Moshe before Mount Torah. She was Mizgaya together with all Klal Yisrael before Mount Torah, and this shiksa was a shiksa. So what's the question? But the main thing is that there's a halacha. The halacha is the kanoim poigim boy. The nesalma mimenu halacha. So Pinchas said the roa ma'asav and this guy halacha, and he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, "V'kubalni mimoch that aboyel aram is kanoim poigim boy." So Moshe Rabbeinu answered, "Karaina the igras iu leheve prevanke." You know what? You're right. You do it. So
if he said Mekubali Mincha, he learned from Moshe. Not Moshe for that.
Oh. So Moshe felt bad. As soon as Pinchas went, but there was hesitation. Moshe Rabbeinu forgot the halacha, the kanoim poigim. If Moshe Rabbeinu had remembered, the truth is that Rashi says that the Eibishter made a miracle that Moshe should forget it. Why? That Pinchas should be able to get the star. That was Klape Shmaya Galya.
I think the situation he wouldn't forget.
But the emesis, the way it looks is like l'chayr, it's his fault. What does it look like? He could have done something. Could have right away. So here, that's where the Rashi brings the mashal by this story. And the question is, why is it dafke that we're counting because of the Magefa? Why are we not counting because of Hirgu Isha Noshav? Hirgu Isha Noshav, Moshe did nothing wrong. He did the right thing. He did the right thing. All the people that it's modern labal poor, you have to, if you have Eidim and Asro, the Dayon Yisrael have to be done, and Chayev Misa Hirgu Isha Noshav. There's nothing wrong. He doesn't feel bad. But those people that were Mason b'Magefa, Moshe Rabbeinu, if he didn't forget, if he didn't hesitate, maybe if he would have 10 minutes earlier, or an hour earlier, he would scream out that Aboyer Laram is Kanoim Poigim Boy, and maybe someone would run and be Poigeya in a Nasi of Shevet Shimon, and instead of 24,000 people dying, less people would die. So he felt bad. It was his fault. He was the Roya to protect the Jewish people, and and the Zayivim came. That's why Rashi answers Akash. You're saying V'yachere Magefa, the Eibusha says to count. Why not V'yachere Hirgu Isha Noshav? Why does the Torah say Magefa? Because Hirgu Isha Noshav, there's nothing to do. They deserved to get killed. They were judged. But over here was something else. Moshe Rabbeinu felt bad. They should told him, "V'takazo, you should count." That's why by the ego, it was nothing to do with Moshe, to do with Eibishter. So therefore, you say Moshe Labalatzoin, and we want to show that they're choviv. And we don't have to say Zeivim. We could say a dever too. What's the difference? Zever, Zeiv, Doiv. He lost. But over here, when it wasn't, that's the reason for the counting. The counting is because it's to do with the Roya. Moshe Rabbeinu is responsible because it looks like Moshe Rabbeinu hesitated and therefore he didn't protect the Yidden. Therefore, because of this, you should count. So he gives that. So Rashi gives a Moshe.
He got punished for it, Moshe?
No. The question is still, usually when a shepherd, when he's told to count, because it was a little bit his fault, is because we want from now on he should be more careful.
Oh.
But since in this Pasha, we're still going to have the story with the B'nai Slavchot, and we're going to find out in a few minutes that Moshe Rabbeinu is about to pass away. So what's the shaykh to say that he should count, in order he should be from Mekam Bahola, he should be more careful? It's over. When are you going to tell Aroya, I want you from today on to be more careful? He's going to work. But if you fired him, Lamazot, or he left, what's the difference? There's some people, they'll give you Musa. It's all over. They'll still give you Musa. Why yesterday? And why the day before? 2 years ago, you insulted me. Huh?
Anyway, I'm not there.
Exactly. What's the gay? What's the gay? If anyway, the Roy is not here anymore, so there's nothing to talk about. Moshe Rabbeinu is anyway going to pass it. So it's not a huge question, because we're not talking about the day of Moshe Rabbeinu's Tira. We don't know exactly. It's a week or 2 months before. So it's not a big kasha, but still it bothers Rashi a little bit. Therefore, he gives a second shot to say that Taka had to do with the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu was about to give the Eden back to the Eibishter, and he took them a minion and gave them back the minion. Before the second shot is still shver, because why does it say Achrei Magefim? So therefore, Rashi stays with the first shot as the main shot. Another question that Rebbe says is why Taka the Eibishter wants Moshe to count because he's the Roya. Well, why doesn't the Eibishter want to count? Every time there was the Egel Chavivim. Over here it doesn't say Metzat Chavivim. It doesn't do with Chaviv, it's to do with Moshe. But wasn't it to the Eibishter that the Yidden are Chaviv? And now that crazy, 200,000 Yidden. No, wouldn't the Eibishter want to Loidia Chibosan? The Rebbe said, an unbelievable shot. You wouldn't expect it, by the way, from the Rebbe. It sounds very musary, and it's very, very, it's really a tough pill to swallow, but this is what the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says even a child understands. The Dover Chomer B'Yoysin to Rachmana Litzlan, to be Boil Aramis. We even see that Rashi says that Bilam said, Elakeim Shalei L'Soy Nazimahu. Even a child knows. And Befrat Al Pi Aloch, the Rambam says, Yesh Boy Hefset She'im B'chol Ha'aroyes Kamoyse, Shaben Min Ha'erva, even if he's a mamzer, B'noi Hu L'chol Dover, B'chol Yisrael Nechshav. He's a Jew. He's a mamzer, he's a Jew.
He's a Yiddish
mamzer. Haben Min Hagoy, Einei B'noi.
And also he did it in the front of everybody.
That's another thing. And therefore, the Rogatchover says that this is a Yoitzim Naklal, it's Mavid Nefoshes MiYisrael. It's kilu that the Eibishter gave the Yidden seed, and the Yid has Bafira Chovshitz, and he puts it by a goy, and the Jewish seed is lost. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Rambam says, continue, so therefore, when the Yidden were over such an Aveda to boil Aramis, the Eibishter is not counting to show Chavivus. And this is a terrible sin. In a way, it's worse. And the other one was the Egel Azov. It was just Avodah Zarah. It had nothing to do with Boil Aramis. Here, there was both. But if it would have been just Avodah Zarah, it would have been just something else. But over here was the union of Boil Aramis. So it's kilu, those that it's kilu that those that didn't sin, okay, they're never part of it. And those that sinned are never part of the Chavivus kilu. It's an unbelievable thing. It's an unbelievable thing. This was in the height the Rebbe's thing about me Yehudi. The Rebbe had then spoken about that we find the whole story of Ezra, that Ezra called all the Yidden and he said that they're married to the Goyim and that they should divorce the Goyim, and all the Yidden cried and they did tshuva and they sent away the Goyish women. The Rebbe said that this is a terrible Aveda. So, when the Rebbe, everything is, like Yalav Yova is Lo Yalav Yova, there was a very big opposition from the Klippa. And at that time, there was a svara that they're going to change the chok. That year has to be ka'alocha. So some tried to say, no, they're going to change it to be ka'nog u'makubul b'Yisrael medur dur. The Rebbe said, no, that's not good. Why? Kenog Mekubal B'Yisrael Der. So someone's going to say like Zimri ben Solui, or maybe like the Doir of the Oivdei Avodah Zarah in the Tanakh.
Give them a petach.
Give them a petach. So they said, "Oh, we'll do that. The gear has to be al pi Torah." So the Rebbe says the reform is going to come and say al pi Torah shebiktav, the lo al pi Torah shebal peh.
The Rebbe knew exactly which.
The Rebbe said there's only one way to do one word. Giur ka'aloch. That's it. That time, I don't know who. I'm very curious. Someone put out a pamphlet writing that against Lubavitch. Said that the whole thing that happened by Ezra was the Jews were all religious. It's not true, but they were. The only sin they had was Noshem Nochris. So that's why Ezra made a big thing. But if they would, but really, this thing's much more important than Giur ka'aloch. The Tuchim Mesim, all these things are more important. Shmira Shabbos. Exactly. So the Rebbe said, how could you write such a... The Rebbe said that this is a Beferish Rambam. Oven ze yesh behefset she'im b'chol ha'rois kemoich. Shaben min hakusis eine benoi. Like the Rogatchover says, that Mavid neshvoshes mi'Yisrael. This is the only possibility that a Yid turns into a Goy. Yiddish see turns into a Goy. And this is Beferish Halacha Rambam. So how could you... So the Rebbe said, how could be such a Talmud Chacham wrote such a pamphlet? The Rebbe said, I'll tell you a story. Once, the Chofetz Chaim had a dear Talmud that was about to go to be a Rav. So before he went out to his Rabbonis, he asked the Chofetz Chaim to give him advice. What should he do? He said, I'll tell you what, one thing I can give you advice. In a lot of communities, they wait for the Rav to finish Manhesed before they say Kaddish. When you come, tell you Balabatim, you don't want they should wait for you. Why? Because if they're waiting for you, that's already Sheikhat. If they're giving you COVID, that's already Sheikhat. Not good. Not good. The Rebbe said that this guy got money, so all his Torah is already not good. How could it be that Bilam, who was a Novi, and the Eibishter made a miracle, he made a Pia Oson, should open up, and the Eibishter created Erev Shabbos Ben Hashmosh to say, how could he have gone so bad? Because Shoichet. Everything is Shoichet. A couple of dollars, Shoichet.
Yeah, he told Balak, he said, give me the whole money in the world, I will not do something.
Right, Nefesh Rechova.
Yeah,
so we see that Shoichet is an unbelievable thing. So the Rebbe said, this guy wrote a pamphlet, it's all Shoichet. It's all Shoichet. The Rebbe said, it's an unbelievable thing that this is an Aveda which is terrible. That's why the Rebbe said that the bottom line is the Hira from the story is, if you see Chas v'Shalom a Jew that is hanging out with a shiksa, well, Chas v'Shalom, you have to put in all the koiches in the world, even if you're ready. Say, he already did it 300 times. It doesn't work that way. Every time is important.
He said
Try.
about the Shochad Yahweh Nef HaChamim,
Yeah.
V'Salev Divrei Tzadikim.
Yeah.
The Shochad is so strong,
Right.
you don't see.
Yeah, you don't see.
Yeah.
The Rebbe says that this chait is an unbelievable chait. So on the one hand, and the Rebbe says a double lesson. On the one hand, we see that every time the Yidden sin, the Eibush accounts for Loidia Chibos, and this is one Yotzim Nachal to teach us that we have to put very Rahman al intermarriage is a second Holocaust in Klal Yisrael, and intermarriage is like a Gefährlich Chazach, and it doesn't matter how far a Yid is, we have to try our best to hold on to every Yid, not Chas v'Shalom to fall through this chait. On the other hand, we see that even though the Eibishter didn't count them to Lidia Chibosam, but to Moshe Rabbeinu, he said, you have to take care of every Yid. Even these Yid in the Nebuch were already over. You have to count, because you're responsible for every Yid. So on the one hand, we see the unbelievable thing that's a Moshe Rabbeinu, that even these Yid that the Eibishter wants, that that Moshe Rabbeinu should be Mesasek with every Yid.
So the Roy is more chashuv than the Balabait.
Yeah, that's there's a certain specialty in the Roya. Yeah, there's a certain specialty in the Roya. I'm saying that this is unbelievable. You don't expect this word from the Rebbe, but you see that the Rebbe, this was a burning. Yeah,
I
The Rebbe
always
was very
I
burning
always
about
say
it.
to people, how many million people pass by Sundays over there?
Yeah.
Never, ever the ever saw, oh, you're a Jew that don't get that done.
Yeah.
Never, never.
Yeah.
Any kind of Jew. You got it done.
Yeah. And you know what? Lately they were saying this week or last week that there's a few Chabri Knesset that are trying to push it. Last week or something came. Halavai. The time is right.
Today they're getting a Torah, but I think
They went out of Knesset.
That's
Why?
why. Because they
They
told them something else and they did something else.
It's always like that. That's politician.
The Likkutei, the head of the Knesset, told them something else, and now he has to say it today, and it's not like what he told them. So he played with them. That's when I got them. Question is, what's to be with the other religious bodies? Shas will go.
If Shas will go, and everyone go to full
That's
government
it,
floor.
no more. Anyway, now they have like a month break, so nothing will work out till that. And they said probably they will talk again. And
It's a politics thing.
today I heard someone in the radio talking. In Israeli radio said the 3 soldiers got killed 2 hours ago from gas in their tank. In the tank they have ammunition, so one of the ammunition explodes. One of them is from a frat, Victoria. I don't know him, but I heard the name somewhere. I don't know. So he was talking to this guy in the radio. He said, the Chayalim, they go miluim for 400 or 500. They're coming from the miluim and they have no more core because nobody can exchange them. This is why the Haredim has to come to exchange them. So he's blaming the Haredim for all the getting killed there. This was, I heard it once. That's a problem between Jews.
Yeah.
I was one of the factory. The big boss come down to see what's going on. It's walking this, walking this. So one guy standing beside him with that. I'm waiting here. It's upset now. Hey, what you doing here? Go to war. So I don't have to war. What I'm firing? No, you can't fire me. So I'm the big boss. I'm firing. So what I'm the prince of the middle. So what's it for?
A shame. Okay, Shkarach, those that joined us. Gute Nacht.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.